Hey, what's going on? Hey, so yesterday I shot a video talking about essentially kind of a high level marketing, lead generation, and why a relatively small percentage of investors are doing the majority of the deals because they understand lead generation, they understand marketing. Okay, so now I want to help you understand it from a deeper level, understanding what marketing looks like, why it works. And by the way, like when I'm teaching these things, these principles carry over to any business model, any industry. It's not just real estate investing; it's any industry. Um, and this is just this is business. So, and I think it's why a lot of investors, a lot of realtors, are not very good business owners because they don't understand the principles that go into business. They're hustlers. They're out hustling and they're doing what they can to bring in business, but they don't build an infrastructure that gives them consistent business, right? So, um, so first of all, understand that there's a big difference between when, as real estate investors, what we want to be focused on is direct response marketing. Now, there's a huge difference between direct response marketing and advertising. So let me give you an example. So if you think of big companies such as Coca-Cola or Target or something like that, they sell products, but they're such big, massive global brands that they don't have any need to get you to call them or to run out and buy their product immediately. They don't have anything like that. So it's very general, basic advertising with billion-dollar budgets. Okay. So they spend billions generally on TV commercials and maybe you might see billboards or stuff like that, right? Like really, really big stuff. They're not sending out direct mail to a bunch of homeowners trying like offering them a coupon to go buy a Coke and a discount and this and that. They don't have to. Whereas as s- small real estate investors where we don't have an unlimited budget, we need to get a direct response from our marketing. So we need to be spending money in ways to where the homeowners, once they get our postcard or ad or whatever it is, they call us immediately. And generally speaking, that month that we do the marketing can be that the marketing can be calculated to where we know what our return on investment is. So that allows us to know very, very soon, right? I mean, generally by the end of that month, we know if our marketing campaign was profitable or not. And if it was, then we get to be able to take that money and we get to be able to reinvest back into more marketing. So direct response marketing is very scalable, assuming that it works. So that's the difference between direct response marketing and generalized advertising. Um, you really don't hardly ever see small investors or realtors or something like that doing generalized advertising because they just don't have the budget for it, and there's no way to know that it works. So if somebody gets big enough, and I, I'm just making this up, but let's just say you got a realtor in New York or something like that, and they end up building some multi-hundred million uh, billion or multi-hundred million-dollar type of business. Well, then maybe they can start doing some type of bigger advertising because they've got the budget, they've got the team, all that kind of stuff. But that's a very, very, very small percentage um, of us out there. So most of us will need to do direct response. So uh, where was I going to go with the next point? Shoot, lost my train of thought. Um, but so that's direct response marketing in a nutshell. Oh, here's where I was going to go. Next thing is understanding the difference between what I would call evergreen marketing and a silver bullet. So, a silver bullet is something that a marketer is, they think is the golden ticket, right? The silver bullet that kills the vampire type of thing. That's like where it comes from. Kind of weird, but it's something that's going to that like it's the new thing, right? It's the it thing. So right now, in 2026, what is it? It's AI, right? AI marketing and allowing AI to do all this stuff. So there's not a ton out there yet, but starting about a year ago, I started seeing marketers come out with their AI CRM, and there's AI outbound calling, and there's AI this and that. It's not even built in a way yet to where it's outproducing. I mean, it maybe it's getting there, but that's a part of business operations. It's not a part of your overall marketing. Okay, so marketers are trying to sell you on AI as being the next thing, as being the next silver bullet. Before AI, it was, um, you know, virtual wholesaling. That was probably the last 5 years where, do deals anywhere in the country, this and that, right? That was a silver bullet. Before that, it was text messaging, and RVMs, ringless voicemails. That was the silver bullet at that point. So it's not that those don't work, they do work, but they're going to come and go. Okay. So, for example, ringless voicemails, to my knowledge, are now illegal, I think, or very restricted. Text message, cold text messages without having permission from the sender is highly frowned upon, if not possibly illegal or subject to fines. So, there's those things that they come and go, but they're not going to stick around forever. And so it's, do you use them when they come around? Maybe some people do. A lot of people do. I don't. And here's why: because I like to put my money into things that are evergreen. So an evergreen marketing source will be something like direct mail, because direct mail, I I don't really ever see the post office shutting down, right? It's government owned, or whatever you might call it, subsidiary, whatever it is. But it's controlled by the government. People have to get their mail. If it were to shut down, what would people do, right? Like, people have to get their mail to their door, and that, I mean, it's been going on like that for centuries. I mean, people used to drive horse and buggy hundreds of miles to deliver packages. And 100 years from now, people are still going to have to get their packages. It might be in a different way, but they're still going to have to get their packages. So, direct mail is a way to get our message in front of people, and it's evergreen. It'll never stop. It'll always be that way. Stuff like Google Ads, very strong, very strong evergreen platform. Will it stay around forever? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Probably not. But whenever that time comes, there's something else will take its place and be solid for. And I say probably not. Like, it's crazy to think that Google might not last. But um, when you look at Fortune 500 companies, most of them don't last beyond a century. So, or even beyond 20 years for that matter. So it will probably last longer than any of us will be in business, but it might not last forever. Um, and then something like radio, I don't really see radio ever going out of style. So that's a very strong marketing channel. Uh, TV, um, probably pretty strong, but those different things start to lose their capacity because of their reach, or because you lack the ability to have a targeted audience, that type of stuff. So, um, radio and TV kind of fit into that, into that, into that stuff. So Anyway, but I want you to think of, the difference between Evergreen and, the silver bullets. So I would highly encourage investing into Evergreen marketing first, because that's what, that it's consistent. You can just, as long as it works, you can just reinvest and let your money ride, and you're going to keep getting a return over and over and over again. So I'd been investing in direct mail for, and notice I say investing because I truly look at it as an investment. It's the best investment I've ever made in my life, by 100 or 1,000 fold, by such a long shot. It's not even crazy. I routinely spend money on something like direct mail, and routinely get a minimum of 300% return, usually a minimum of 500% return, and up to 1,000% return or beyond. Any other type of investment you can put your money into is going to make you 10 to 20% at most. So it's just not even close. So marketing is truly an investment, not a gamble, but you have to be willing to be committed to it. So anyway, I, I can go on forever talking about this stuff. But I wanted to give you a better understanding, help you understand how to start looking at this stuff, from a different lens. And once you do, it starts to pay off. So hope that helps, guys. Talk to you soon.